So what a go on, people? This is TDI TV, and me, well, I'm the dirty immigrant. You know what I mean? So for the past few days, I've been watching the news and thing, watching what's going on. And apart from all the political stuff and all the cultural stuff, conflicts, if you will, that's going on, I've noticed there's an underlying, which is not really an underlying, but it's probably the main aspect of it, is that two powerful religions are now struggling to get control of this world. On one side, you have the Islamic group. On the other side, you have the Christian group. And they are clashing big time, you know what I mean? I'm right, you're wrong. You're wrong, I'm right. They just keep going back and forth, And most of us are just caught in the middle as they fight. This stuff has been going on for centuries. This ain't nothing new. It's nothing new. Religions have been fighting forever. This is just the latest episode in man trying to dominate man. Because remember, or take note, that is religion, not spirituality. Now, from my observation, just my observation, most of the people who follow this religion doesn't have the same fervor as the ones who are speaking out. Like for instance, let's take Islam for instance. The people who are speaking out mainly and making the most noise and doing the most idiotic, insane, inhumane things are the ones we call or we label as extremists. They believe so strong that they're going to kill people, maim people, and carry on like that just to get their point across. Now, I must admit, I don't know a whole lot, which I should, about Islam. And quite frankly, what I'm hearing over on the news and stuff, I take with a grain of salt, because if you notice, it's the other side that is giving me the information. And of course, because it's the antithesis of what's going on, of what is believed where I live, getting real and true information as to what they really are is kind of hard. I mean, you could read the Quran as much as you want. As an outsider, the interpretation might be a little muddled for you. You know what I mean? Hell, the interpretation of the Quran and the Bible is muddled to those who say they believe in their specific religion because they interpret it to suit their own political needs. Now you have ISIS over here, and if you notice, it's little pockets of groups that keep screaming the loudest. The biggest mouth get the most attention. Very rare people ask the general population as to what's going on. And being human, I have to believe that the general population doesn't feel the same way as the extremists who are yelling, because the general population here doesn't believe about the same as the loudmouths that are screaming here. And I'm only saying that because we are human and we react the same to situations. I mean, we don't like to think, oh, we're so different. No, the only thing that makes us different is what we were taught to make us different, not our ingrained human emotions, human feelings. You know what I mean? Now, here's something for both sides. When a situation gets to the point where somebody's going to invade somebody, somebody's going to kill somebody, the moderate people or the everyday people who are caught up in it wouldn't say anything, simply because one side is attacking the other. And who would you like to have some kind of control over you? What you don't know or what you already know and could survive within? You know what I mean? Neither of them, well, both sides have good track records for doing good here and doing good there, but they also have track records where evil people within those groups have come up and done things like the Crusades for the Christians. Now, slavery in America, how many people use that and interpret the Bible so they could have slaves? I mean, the best way to find out about something is to talk to the people. And if you notice, worldwide, leaders have done a spectacular job of keeping the people from each other. Don't go there, you're gonna die. Don't go there, you're gonna die. The infidels, the demons over there, you know what I mean? So they're dehumanizing the mass population. A few is dehumanizing the mass population to the point where we don't trust each other. And once they do that, it's hard to communicate and figure out what's going on. You know what I'm saying? It's hard to communicate and realize that we're more alike than we are different. Every system is run with a monetary gain. I don't care what they say over there. Oh, it's all spiritual and Islam and blah blah blah. It all begins and ends with money. That's why they have all the oil there. They're trying to keep it. That's why they use oil money to buy nuclear bombs, because they want to control the minority, that is, want to control. Now we've gotten to a point where people just hear things off the top of their head and they don't investigate. So then they do stupid stuff. They do inhumane stuff to each other. All on hearsay. All on hearsay. That's it. You know what I mean? Been there. Listen, I'm going to use myself as an example. For a 4-year period, we had a revolution. If I believed everything I heard one side say about Americans, I would not like Americans right now. I wouldn't trust Americans, but I wanted to find out for myself. You have to find out for yourself. It's not everybody. My mom, I was raised when my mom would tell us every day, especially when something bad happened, that everybody or most people in the world are good people. Nobody is born Muslim. Nobody is born Catholic, Pentecostal. That's stuff that you are taught. It's been drilled into the head from the time you're a childhood. And even if you grow up and you stray from it, sometimes you go back to it. Now, going back to that stuff, check this out. Here's a little theory. Lately, I'm hearing a lot about Sharia law and how it's good for humanity and all that good stuff. If that stuff was so good for humanity, how come it's not the leading ideology in the world today? If it was so good for humanity, how come some people within your faith, within the Muslim faith, convert to other beliefs? Obviously, it's not working. Otherwise, everybody would just follow it. And we'd all be happy and we'd all be doing good. Same thing goes for the Christian side. If it was working, everybody would have adopted it. And the whole world would be Christian. And we'd all be living in peace, right? Maybe, just maybe, it works for you. It works because that's what you believe in. It works because I believe in it. I believe in the Bible myself. But it works for me. I'm not going to impose what I believe on you. Here's what I believe. Everybody believe what they want to. And then in the end, if there is a judgment day, because I believe both religions talk about the judgment day, then God will take care of it. So here we are killing each other to prove we're right, when we know a judgment day is going to come and bam, who is wrong going to get punished, who is right going to reap the rewards. You know what I mean? You know, speaking of that, there's a myth, and I'm going to call it a myth because there's no basis in fact. They said that when suicide bombers go out, they promise them 72 virgins in the other realm. So my question is, there's female bombers. Do they get 72 virgins in the other realm too? And hell, if they do that, seeing that I'm a born-again virgin, I volunteer. You see how stupid the whole thing sounds. I went to an all-boys school, and what it reminds me of is 2 boys have a beef and they're fighting in the schoolyard. The only difference is nobody dies. And one boy doesn't exert his power on the other one and try to steal everything he has, his resources. Even boys will fight and move on. Children fight and move on. Grown-ups can't do it because, man, I believe this. You better believe it because it's working for me, but it's not working for you. That's why you have dissension within your own. Okay, look how many different types of Muslims there are within, because there's different tribes who have different little beliefs. Look how many denominations of Christianity there is, because one disagree with the other, and they disagree with this one, and disagree with that one. If it's working so well, how come we don't have peace? That's something to ask yourself. You know what I mean? Watch the news. Take it with a grain of salt. Because remember, the news is told by, how should I put it? From an ethnocentric view. From an own cultural view. It's not told from a human view. It's told from a cultural view. Of course, people are going to say it is told from a human view because they view the other side as inhuman. But it's not true. We all human beings. We all have blue blood that when you bleed out, it turns red when oxygen hit it. We all go through the same struggle. I mean, I live in West Virginia. It's like people work from paycheck to paycheck on my island, struggling to make ends meet. They do that here too. You understand? The only difference is people tell us different things to believe. We got to stop listening to people who keep telling us they know what's right for us. We know what's right for us. Why? Because we're human. Get to know each other. See what's up. See what's going on. You can learn from different cultures to live every day. It doesn't have to affect your spiritual beliefs. It does not. You know what I mean? Your spiritual beliefs should affect the situation or the culture to a certain degree. To a certain degree. Because once you get too enamored with stuff, you end up killing people so they could believe what you believe. Yeah, I guess what I'm trying to say is, what works for you might not work for the next person. Let's just leave each other alone to believe what we want. And then, if there's an end, if there's a jihad, if there's an Armageddon, if there's anything, and the world comes to an end, then we see who is right, because nobody's going to give up what they believe completely. But anyway, I hope a little bit of clarity comes in here somewhere. Like, I'm not saying I have it all, the answers, but you know what I mean? That's just a little thing to make you think. Okay? Now, remember, go subscribe, like, favor, share, dislike, bitch, complain, do whatever you want. Any reaction, it's a reaction that's going to make this year better for everybody else. Okay? So, remember, always walk in peace.
Brooklyn, 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 Brooklyn.